and welcome to this month's crate where we'll be making Kope d'Ambre. So, for those of you that are new on our cocktail journey, let's give them a little bit about what is it? What is Charon's Crate?
So, Charon's Crate is a monthly membership cocktail box based out of Anchorage, Alaska. Each crate involves enough spirits, handcrafted mixers, garnishes, and recipes to make 4 cocktail bar style cocktails right at home, along with the instructions of the professional craft cocktail bartenders that created the recipes.
Awesome. So, who is Charon? Like, how did you come up with the name Charon?
So, Charon in Greek mythology is the ferryman that transports souls across the river Styx into Hades. And the reason that we kind of wanted to have some fun with that imagery was for us kind of coming through the pandemic and out of the pandemic. It was sort of a nod that we were going to be able to craft cocktails all the way until the very end.
I love it. I love it. So, let's talk about this month's crate. Like, what do we got going on here?
Absolutely. So this month's cocktail series is called Cope d'Ambre. And what we're going to be crafting this month are going to be 3 different cocktail styles, 2 of which we're going to feature tonight. Our proper cocktail, which is the cocktail that we initially developed the recipe for, is going to be an island-style tropical tiki-inspired cocktail. Then the modified is going to be a big spirit-forward, old-fashioned structured cocktail. And finally, because it is the holidays, for our elevated cocktail, we're going to be doing a kind of nog-inspired flip-style cocktail where we're going to be incorporating an entire raw egg, including both the yolk and the white, into the cocktail. So with this month's crate, this is a wheated bourbon-based cocktail series that is going to be accented by 2 different types of rum, both a gold rum and a dark rum, a little bit of an orange liqueur, and then sort of the star of the show with this one is going to be a clove-infused cold brew reduction syrup that we were able to collaborate with our good friends at Steamed Coffee Roasters here in Anchorage.
Excellent. So, what kind of techniques will we be learning in this month's crate?
So we're using 3 different bar techniques in this month's cocktail series. For the tiki style cocktail, we're going to be using a standard bar shake. The modified is going to be a stirred cocktail. And then for the flip, we're going to be using a really, really unique flip style technique that we're going to be showing you how to incorporate a whole raw egg into your cocktail.
I'm so excited. I've noticed we got some new glassware out here. Can you tell us a little bit about this one?
Absolutely. So this is the cocktail glass that we're going to be using for the proper cocktail. The name for this glass is called a Poco Grande, and it's one that we really like to use behind the bar for those tropical style cocktails. It's got a really aesthetically pleasing shape and a larger volume to kind of be able to incorporate the higher volume of ingredients that we typically use in the tropical island style tiki cocktails.
I like it. We're bringing summer to winter.
That's right. And then for the flip style cocktail, we're going to be using an 8.5 ounce coupe glass that we really like to use anytime that we are using an egg or an egg white that really presents the foam and basically the presentation for that egg white or egg style flip cocktail.
Excellent. So I think we are ready.
Are we ready?
I think we're ready.
All right. I think that you are up first to make the proper version of
the pretty glass. What?
Absolutely.
All right.
So the first thing that we're going to do when we're making the proper version, the tiki version, is we need to prep the glass because we're going to be using a blend of sugar, coffee, and clove that was included with the crate that we're going to rim the glass with. So let's go ahead and prep that rim first.
Right. And for the sake of keeping things pretty here. All right.
So we're just going to spray a little bit of our chocolate aromatics onto a towel. And just get the rim of that glass kind of sticky so that the powder adheres to the rim of the glass. And then we're going to lightly dust the top of the glass. And if we've done it properly, go for it. It's your cocktail.
I'm getting too excited.
There we go. We've got a nice subtle rim around powdered rim around the glass.
I love it.
All right, so we've got our tiki glass prepped. Now it's time to build the cocktail.
All right, the fun part.
So we're going to start off with 1.25 ounces of the wheated bourbon. Excellent. Now for the rum, we're just using just a little bit, just 1/4 ounce of each one of the gold rum and the dark rum, just to kind of accent those honeyed notes of the wheated bourbon.
All right. And you said 1/4?
1/4 ounce.
All right.
And that's just enough that it's going to give a little bit of a hint of that kind of caramel notes from the gold rum and sort of the rich molasses and cacao notes that we're going to get out of the dark rum. Perfect.
All right. What's up next?
Next, we're going to be using an orange liqueur, where we're going to be adding 1/2 ounce of the orange liqueur so that we incorporate a little bit more sweetness into the cocktail and another element of flavor that's really going to kind of help link the clove, the coffee, and the honeyed notes of the bourbon. So we're going to do 1/2 ounce. Excellent.
All right.
Now the fun stuff is going to be our handcrafted, clove-infused, steamed out cold brew reduction syrup. And we're going to do 3/4 ounce of the clove-infused cold brew reduction.
So
now the really nice thing about incorporating the coffee into the cocktail, and especially turning it into a syrup, is it fulfills both adding some sweetness to the cocktail, and because it's a coffee base, we're going to get bitterness in it as well. So we don't necessarily need to add another bitter element to it because we're already getting it out of the cold brew. Now, for the final 2 elements, we're going to be splitting 3/4 ounce of both lemon juice and pineapple juice for the acid element of the cocktail. Got some lemon. And now let's go ahead and add some pineapple to it. Perfect. All right. Now it's time to see your bar shake, Fiona.
Ice me. All right. Shake it, don't break it. All right.
Perfect. Now we're going to strain it without ice into the Poco Grande, and then we're going to add crushed ice after. And the reason we add the ice after is so that we know that we get the full volume of the cocktail from the shaker into the glass before we add the ice.
I was about to ask why. I was like, that's something new.
Absolutely.
Ooh, look at how rich and caramely that is. That just looks amazing.
Now we're going to add crushed ice to give this a real kind of tropical feel to the cocktail. And we like to have that all the way up to the top so that we can really kind of present the garnish and use the ice all the way up to the top of the glass to really kind of hold that garnish as well.
Now we're going to make it pretty.
We are. Time to add a piece of our dehydrated pineapple, and to finish it off, we're going to do 1 spritz of our chocolate aromatics over the top.
It's gorgeous.
Beautiful.
It is so pretty. Like, oh, now the best
It's
part.
pretty, but the most important part,
Does it taste?
how does it taste?
That is really good. I like it. It's not as sweet as I was expecting it to be.
No. And that's one of the things that's really nice about those really kind of classic tiki structures is that they're not overly sweet. When we think of island drinks now, we do kind of think of those really overly sugary sweet hurricanes and and cocktails that are just overly cloyingly sweet. But when they are done in a very proper classic style, they tend to be a little bit more on the refreshing side.
Yeah, it's
but also a little bit more kind of tart and dry.
Yeah,
You're not going to get an overly sweet cocktail when you are using the fresh ingredients and the proper style and the proper structures for the tiki cocktails.
I really like how the clove and the pineapple go together. Like, that's something that I would have never thought to combine together.
Yeah, that's one of those flavor combinations that does work really well to kind of have that big fruitiness, have that big tropical flavor with those real warming spice notes. They really, really play well together.
Yeah, that so refreshing. Like,
it is.
I think I just need another little sip here.
Well, now that we've done one that's refreshing, how about if we do one that's a little decadent?
I think I'm ready for dessert.
You ready for dessert?
I think so.
All right.
Well,
I'll tell you what. Let's chat about doing a flip style cocktail. So for the elevated flip style cocktail, we are going to start with our spirits and our syrup with the same ratios that we were doing for the proper cocktail. So with this one, we are going to start off with, again, 1.25 ounces of our wheated bourbon. Quarter ounce of our gold rum. Quarter ounce of the dark rum. Half ounce of our orange liqueur. And as we did with the previous cocktail again, 3/4 ounce of the steamed hot cold brew reduction syrup. Now where we change up from the ingredients that we were using for the proper cocktail to the elevated cocktail, rather than using our citrus, we're going to keep it in that kind of big, old-fashioned, spirit-forward profile. But this one, we're going to crack the entire egg. Now, the unique technique with a flip style cocktail is we're not going to just partially shake the ice into the cocktail. What we're going to do is we're going to use 3 to 4 cubes, and we're going to shake it until the ice has completely dissolved into the cocktail and thoroughly incorporated both the egg white and the egg yolk into the cocktail.
It's all in the technique, folks.
It's all in the technique.
Yeah, proper shake. Like a professional.
And again, you're going to be able to hear it, and you're going to be able to feel it when you're shaking this cocktail, that you feel the ice break up. You feel it start to dissolve into the shaker. And it's a little bit different from the egg white, as you can hear right there.
Yeah, like it's...
You hear that it started really softening up, and now it's just sort of a slushy sort of volume.
Oh, yeah, all that frothy goodness.
Absolutely. And that's going to be one thing, if we've done it properly, you're going to be able to see in the cocktail there, Fiona, that there really isn't any ice in the cocktail, that it already does have sort of a really kind of creamy, white sort of prepper or presentation in the shaker itself. And typically when we do an egg white cocktail, we will double strain it through a mesh strainer. We actually don't in this one because, number one, if we've done it right, there's no more ice in the cocktail. And we want to get the full volume of that decadent thickness and richness into the cocktail.
That looks so good.
Like with an egg white cocktail, it will separate a little bit. We will get a little bit of a foam on the top, but it's not going to be a really prevalent foam.
Yeah, not like how last month's was.
Right, like last month we had that really nice foam over the top of the cocktail. We're not going to get that with this because of using the whole egg.
Now to make it pretty.
Now to make it pretty. And this is a fun little aspect of doing flip style cocktails is that it really holds a bitters element really nice on the top of the cocktail. So what we did do was made a little stencil of our version, modified version of our logo that we're just going to spray the chocolate aromatics over the top of the cocktail.
That is so neat.
Then we get just a little bit of our martini glass right on the top of the cocktail.
I love it.
Absolutely.
Now for the best
Now
part.
the important part.
How does she taste?
How does she taste?
Oh yeah. That is so good. Like, eggnog just got a lot better, y'all.
And it's so interesting just changing that one little element of the cocktail, going from the citrus to that egg and changing that technique a little bit while keeping all the other elements identical gives you two completely different cocktail experiences.
Yeah, like the texture, like the palatable feel that you get from each one is totally different.
Completely different.
And I think you could definitely leave that one out with the cookies for Santa. I think Santa would appreciate that one.
I think Santa would really appreciate that one. So.
All right. Well, that wraps up our cocktails for the evening. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'd like to give everybody a huge thank you for your love and support. And also, thank you for everyone who came out to the meet and greet at La Bodega.
That meet and greet was so much fun.
It was so nice to get to meet everybody, or at least the people that showed up. And we do plan on doing that every month as the cocktail crates release. We also like to give a big shout out to Steam Dot for collaborating with us this month. And a huge thank you to La Bodega for partnering with us.
Hey, this has been a fantastic second month. We look forward to seeing everybody again next month and continuing along on this journey with us. Excellent. So cheers, everybody.
Cheers. I think you get me a little bit more of this nog here.